Hey YouTube, it's Adam from I'm a Music Mogul. Today's video will be remaking Big Sean's track Moves, so let's get straight to it. First things first, let's set our tempo to 75 BPMs. And we're going to go ahead and create ourselves a 1-bar loop, as that is pretty much the melody for the entire track. It's only 1 bar. And let's go ahead and bring in Logic's ESP synth, polyphonic synth, and we're going to be creating that main melody. We're going to be working off of a preset here. Sometimes it's good to work off of something rather than creating it from scratch. We're going to be working with the electro bass preset. I'm just going to lower this so it's not too loud. And let's go ahead and draw in that melody. I'm going to go up to a nice high octave. And let's get to it. So as you can see, I'm not locking myself to the grid because this melody is very loosely played out. All right, we're almost finished there. So there's pretty much the melody right there. Again, we're leaving it sort of the notes offset and not locked to the grid because this melody should be kind of offset, and it's a very nice and easy melody to listen to. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to bring in an EQ here, and we're just going to filter out some of the lows and the highs. We're going to bring in this guy right here, and some of the highs we're going to cut out. We'll push this to an 18 dBs per octave, and we're going to lower this to about, I'd say around 800 hertz. To cut out a lot of the highs. And then for the low part, we're going to cut it at around, let's say 350, maybe 325. But let's go ahead and just adjust our sound to make it sound more like a soft whistle than anything else. Now pull up the frequency here. Pull up the resonance. Pull up the chorus to soften it up. And right now, like I said, I want it to be more of a whistle sound, a soft sound. So we're going to put up the attack. Make it sustain a little bit longer. Maybe pull up the release as well. So now let's go ahead and just bring in the delay. The delay that we'll be using today is Native Instruments Replica. Now, when I was sort of creating this sound, I sort of brought this plugin up and it sounded good just as is in its default settings. And finally, let's add in a reverb because we need reverb. After all, this is a Metro Boomin track. Let's just pull up the reverb time a little bit. Nothing too crazy. And bring up the room size. Alright, that sounds good as is. Next, let's go ahead and just bring in the top melody for this sort of entire melody loop. So we're going to just duplicate this track because we're going to use the same settings here. We're not going to be using the delay plugin, so I'm going to bypass that. And we're not going to be using ESP, but we're going to be using Logic's ES2 synthesizer. And once again, we're going to be working off of a preset. This time it's one I've created in a tutorial. If you want to see how to make it from scratch, I'll put the link in the card section in the top right hand corner. But we will be using the classic Deep House preset I put together. And let's get some sound going by copying down this MIDI. So let's go ahead and get this sounding tight and nice. We're going to use monophonic right here. Sorry, that's a little loud. So we're not going to need this third oscillator for the sound. We can take it off. And for our second oscillator, we're going to push this up 1 octave. We're going to turn down this analog knob. We don't need any detuning happening here. Let's see if we pull up the cutoff here. All right, next thing that we want to do, we want to push up our glide so our notes glide into each other. Maybe I'm going to push this down 1 octave. Let's see here how it sounds. Yeah, that sounds better, more like the one in the track. But there are too many notes happening here, so let's go ahead and take out some. So all these, for instance. We don't need these. Let's tighten up this over here. All right, that sounds pretty good. We just gotta lower that. Let's see if we push up the glide a little bit more. Bring down the release. All right, that sounds pretty good. Let's go ahead and bring it in with our other sound. All right, that sounds pretty good. Let's go ahead and bring in our drums. So let's go ahead and create a new software instrument track. I'm going to bring in Logic's EXS24 sampler instrument. I'll put together a drum kit for us here. And it is the Big Sean Moves drum kit. Just going to bring up the volume here a little bit. Something like that. And let's go ahead and draw in another 1-bar loop. And let's draw in those drums. Just got to find where they are located first. Here they are here. All right, so let's go ahead and just put in our snare hit for now. Maybe we'll lower this a little bit here. All right, so there's our snare hit. Next, let's go ahead and bring in another snare percussion hit here. Let's bring in our triangle. Let's bring in some straight 16th note hi-hats. Let's just bring this a little bit with a higher velocity here. Bring in the kick. Let's make the kick harder velocity here. Reverse hat. So there is our drums right there. Next, let's go ahead and bring in our 808. Let's go ahead and bring in a new software instrument track. And we're going to be using that classic 808 that I use in every single one of my remakes. It is the preset I put together in ES2 synthesizer, the 808 preset. So let's just go ahead and draw in our 1-bar region and draw in those 808s. So we're going to go to a nice low octave. So we're just going to go ahead and follow where our kicks hit. So for our 808, we're just going to go ahead and mold that to sound more like the one in the track. It's sort of like a thump rather than a kick. So let's just go ahead and adjust our ADSR here. Right now it's very kicky. I want to make it more of a thump, so I'm going to bring up my attack. Bring down my sustain. Let's bring up some distortion as well. It's going to thump off of the kick. Maybe we'll add some drive as well. Cut off some of the highs. There's that thump I was looking for. So something like that. Let's bring it in with the drums. The best thing about 808s to know you got it sitting right is if you take it away and the track feels like it's missing something, but then when you bring it back in, it sounds full again. That's when you know you got the good 808. Let's go ahead and bring it in with the entire track. pretty much the track right there, but let's just go ahead and add in some mastering. We're gonna bring in linear phase EQ for mastering. We're gonna use a preset because we're gonna be doing this quickly. We'll be using the hip hop mix. Next, let's go ahead and bring in a compressor. And I'm following the steps that I put together in a previous tutorial as a quick way to master your tracks. I'm going to go to compressor tools and I'm going to go to platinum analog tape, turn off auto gain. Let's go ahead and bring in a multipressor and use my preset that I've created for myself. It's called EDM Master, but it works for a lot of genres. And finally, let's make this nice and loud by using an adaptive limiter. Just gonna lower my bass part a little bit. So let's just go ahead and just arrange this a little bit. Just do something like this. I don't have the track in front of me. I didn't listen to the song before I started this video, so hopefully it's not going to sound exactly right, but you're going to get an idea of how it should go. So we start off with the melody, bring in the drums maybe for 2 bars, take out the drums for 2 bars, and let's bring in the drums and everything else for another 4 bars. So we get something like this after you arrange it very quickly like I just did here. Maybe it sounds better if we do this quickly here. Sorry guys, I wasn't too happy with that arrangement. So that right there is Big Sean Moves. For you Logic users out there, I'm going to go ahead and save this entire session for you guys and place that as a download link in the description box below. For you non-Logic users out there, I'm going to go ahead and export these drum samples and all the MIDI stems so you guys can use those in your own DAW of choice. If you do have any questions on this, you can ask me in the comment section below. For more great videos like this one, remember to hit that subscribe button, thumbs up, and share this video if you liked it, and I'll talk to you all in the next one. Talk to y'all soon. Later. Peace.